Good morning, everyone. My topic of research paper presentation is development of green infrastructure for rural areas. So the structure of the presentation will start from the background and context of the topic, then methodology that I have adopted to carry out this study, then understanding various definitions of green infrastructure, its potential benefits and types, and finally the case study that I have taken, that is the case study of Bhatkal village at Haryana, its analysis and the results, and last but not the least, that what I have concluded from the whole study. So now coming on to the background and context of the topic. So green infrastructure is a multifunctional tool which is basically suitable for protection of nature, development of village, and sustainable agriculture. And it can also bring various benefits to the village areas. Today, the increasing construction of buildings and roads in rural areas not only results in loss of green spaces, but also decreases water absorption in the villages. All these factors are basically responsible for groundwater depletion, loss of wetland, and disturbance of hydrological cycle, etc. Then what are the methodology that I have adopted to carry out this research? My aim is to develop approach and strategies of green infrastructure for rural development, and the objectives are: first step is to interpret various definitions of green infrastructure across the world and derive the same for rural India. Then second step is to understand the need and potential of green infrastructure. Then third step is to understand the potential components and benefits of green infrastructure. Then fourth step is to understand the wider sets of interest of green infrastructure in rural areas. Then fifth step is to understand the green infrastructure for agricultural land in rural areas. Then sixth step is the case study that I have done, that is of Bhatkal village, and finded out its major issues. Then seventh step is basically the analysis of topography, geology of village, groundwater condition, agricultural land, water spread area of Bhatkal lake, increase in rural development adjacent to the lake, and varied habitats of flora and fauna of Bhatkal lake. Then finally, step 8, implementing the rational solution through green infrastructure and proposing the strategies for the Bhatkal lake. Then there are various definitions of green infrastructure given by various authors. So green infrastructure is a natural solution that contain all activities which require ecosystems and the services which they provide to solve various social problems like climate change, disaster risk, etc. Therefore, the green infrastructure definition which I proposed for rural India is basically it is a natural and semi-natural ecosystems that give water supply, manage urban flooding, water resource management, and various environmental benefits to the society. Now, next is what are the potential of green infrastructure in India? So green infrastructure fall in two broad categories. One is at regional scale and second is at city scale. In regional scale, green, as per 2013 India's land use policy, land use management spaces are identified within the existing land use zones for proper management. There are protected areas, regulated areas, and reserved areas. Protected areas are those areas which are protected from all human activities except those clearly specified under law. Such areas include environmentally sensitive and fragile ecosystem like forest, national parks, and culturally important areas like historical sites and monuments. Then regulated areas are those areas in which human activities except those specifically prohibited under law can be carried out. Such areas may include prime agricultural lands, rural settlements, sensitive ecosystems, cultural and heritage sites. Then reserved areas, in this human activity is permitted in the reserved areas but should be carried out with caution and only when no other option is available. Such areas may include regions which are close to human settlement like green belts and recreational areas. Then in city scale greens, it includes spaces such as green strip, community, district and city park and playground, etc. Now coming on to the need of green infrastructure approach. So green infrastructure approach allows landscape to provide social, economic and environmental advantages. Green infrastructure approach identifies and preserves critical landscapes of ecological, scenic and cultural value. Scenic and culturally valuable landscapes are characterized by viewpoints, recreational spaces and promote tourism. And ecological valuable landscapes include features such as wildlife habitat and watersheds, etc. Now, what are the benefits of green infrastructure? There are environmental, social, climatic change adaptation, and biodiversity benefits. So, environmental benefits basically include protection against soil erosion, removal of pollutants from air and water, and provision of clear water, etc. And the social benefits basically include greener cities, enhanced tourism and recreational opportunities, and better health and human well being. And climatic change adaptation and mitigation benefits basically include carbon storage and sequestration, disaster prevention, and flood alleviation. Then biodiversity benefits basically include ecological corridors and improved habitat for wildlife. Now there are five broader sets of interest of GI in rural areas. First is sustainable resource management. Then second is biodiversity. Third is recreation. Fourth is landscape. Fifth is regional development and promotion. Now, what are the potential components of green infrastructure? Areas of high biodiversity value that act as green infrastructure hubs, such as protected areas, major areas outside protected areas, including large, healthy, and functioning ecosystem. Then restored habitat that reconnect existing natural areas, such as reed beds. Then buffer areas that improve the overall permeability of the landscape to biodiversity and ecological quality. Now, coming on to the types of green infrastructure in rural areas for agricultural land. So the green infrastructure strategy basically provides a significant social and environmental advantages if we employ farmers. Green infrastructure provide environment friendly goods and services and support agricultural production in terms of agricultural properties. Then there are various types of green infrastructure for agricultural land like riparian buffer, biosoils, and filter strip. Then next is the case study that I have adopted, that is Bhatkal village at Haryana. So Bhatkal village is basically located in Faridabad in Haryana, where we will find domination of Muslim habitation. Public services in the village, such as parking area for NMD, toilets, and lighting along the streets, are underdeveloped in this village. The groundwater recharge of the rural space is basically contributed by Bhatkal Lake. Near the village, the agricultural land is irrigated with the help of this lake. And it is the only water harvesting structure in the catchment to which the whole runoff is uh, dedicated. So this lake is the major source of water for Bhatkal village. But the lake is now dry till date. The lake water source is the forest and they are now in degraded state. The lake was built in 1960s as a small irrigation project to basically meet the irrigation needs of the 600 hectares of land in the foothills of Aravali Faridabad region. Band was built by joining two hills to close the fourth or the stream of Bhatkal village. The lakeside gradually became the main attraction of ecological tourism in the village. The lake is fed by rainwater formed between two hills. It is a low-lying area which receives rainfall runoff from the north, west, and the southwest side by Delhi Ridge. Now, for many years, no water is seen in this lake. Now, coming on to the analysis part, the Bhatkal area has a really hilly relief, because of which the existence of this lake is possible. So as for the Google image, it is quite evident that village built up area has increased from the year 2002 till 2020. Even the built up area around the land constantly is constantly growing. In 1999, the total built-up area was 6.3 square kilometer, and in 2017, the built-up area has increased to 17 square kilometer. From figure 1, it is quite clear that till 2002, lake was having a good submersion of water. Subsequently, the flow to the lake began gradually decreased, and the flooded area decreased, and by 2006, the lake was almost dry. This negatively affected the hydrological environment, the ecology of the area, and the tourism of the Bhatkal region. The lake was a habitat for various migratory birds, which are not seen anymore. Rural homes who use dry lake beds and foliage around for fodder, cows, buffaloes, goats, are very rarely around the lake. Uh, Then figure 2 shows the drying up of Bhatkal Lake and the lakefront development of the resort in the close vicinity of the waterfront. In this, blue indicates a lake and pink, orange, and green characterize the spread of the built-up area around Bhatkal. The depletion is largely attributed to anthropogenic activity. The rise in development adjacent to the lake, such as resort, institute, etc., has become a threat for the lake. Also, this watershed region is facing various threats with the anthropogenic activities. The village area should also be provided with smart toilets at various locations, and the public services within the village should be provided with a designated space for NMV parking, and solar lighting along the streets could be a one of the tool for GI. Bhatkal area was originally occupied by 18.7 lakh meters square, but due to violation of watershed and catchment by urbanization and mining, the lake got decreased to 5.5 lakhs square meter, which is basically 27.2% of the original size. From figure 3, we can see that the catchment is rectangular in shape due to the structural control over the drainage of the area. The catchment basin is arid and does not have vegetation and soil cover except along the lineaments and drainage course. At present, post-monsoon water level in the catchment is around 25 mbgl in the highest source of catchment, and 40 mbgl just downstream of Bhatkal Lake. Watershed is basically disrupted mainly by urbanization factor, and we can say where an sufficient amount of water does not reach the lake. Mining activities exposed the catchment areas, which basically resulted in soil erosion and opening up of secondary porosity. And then we can also say the Supreme Court stated that the mining lease should not be renewed within a 2 to 5 kilometer radius unless NOC is received from CPCB and Haryana Pollution Control Board, and further suspended mining in Aravalli Hills on 9th May 2009. But the lake is still degraded and in dry condition till date, which was the major source for the Bhatkal village. Now there is a scarcity of water. Now coming on to the GI rational strategies and approaches adopted for lake conservation, which will be further, which will basically further provide benefits to the village. So the watershed area must be protected in order to rejuvenate the lake existence. The space around the Bhatkal Lake must be rehabilitated as a biodiversity reserve, which basically provides education and biodiversity conservation program for various natural habitats. The provision of the buffer should be on both sides of the stream order. From the Google image that I have shown in my previous slides, it was quite clear from that the maximum part of the village was green, which we cannot see today. Hence, afforestation is required along the streets of the village as well as in various parts of the village. Afforestation can be one of the potential of GI solutions to prevent soil erosion and replenish groundwater. In terms of groundwater recharge, biodiversity conservation, and soil erosion, designated space for pasture land could serve as a tool for GI. Species like Acacia nilotica, Acacia catuci need to be proposed. Along the edge of the lake, riparian buffer of 25 to 30 meters should be provided, which will restore the lake aquatic habitat and minimize community access. Areas near the lake that are less affected by anthropogenic activities and have dense vegetation in the catchment region of the lake are less susceptible to soil erosion, and hence they need to be restored. And in order to create habitation within a regulated delineation of the extent of community access, afforestation need to be expanded in the entire watershed region of the lake. Biofuels and buffer could be a feasible solution to minimize soil erosion in the catchment area and the streams that are flowing into the lake. In the village, biofuels should also be used along existing roads within the lake catchment area. In order to control the runoff and contribute to the groundwater table, the rational use of rain gardens and green roofs at a micro level within the watershed region could be adopted as a initiative of GI. For treating the wastewater, constructed wetland with horizontal subsurface flow must be proposed at a macro level, like domestic household and at village abadi level, and to maintain and grow vegetation spaces other than agricultural areas in the region. Further treated water can be used within the watershed region. Permeable path must be proposed to those areas which are not currently accessible, such as the historic Parson Temple, Shiv Temple, and Brahmakund, to explore the avian biodiversity of the lake and the nearby Aravali region, as well as to optimize the rainwater harvesting in the Bhatkal region. Nature trails using permeable pavement must be proposed near the village. Agricultural land may also contain element of green infrastructure, but much can be done locally to support them. A key success factor for agricultural related green infrastructure is the solution of sustainable native vegetation adapted to our climate. The types of green infrastructure which can be proposed for agricultural land of the village can be filter strip, riparian buffer, and wet pond. Now, finally, what I have concluded from this whole study, green infrastructure can be an effective tool in rural areas. The scope of integrating uh, biodiversity element with green infrastructure technology is very, very large, and there is a great potential uh, for further expansion in the future in terms of rural environment. Green infrastructure will bring uh, water management and uh, more green coverage. And GI is basically a strategic uh, tool to achieve sustainable development goals at the rural level. So that's it from my side. I really appreciate everyone's patience from the last few minutes. Thank you all.